Hello and welcome into the Bojangles Countdown to Tip-Off. I'm Chris Haymeyer, and boy, starting tonight, do we have a fun week of pre-Christmas hoops for you, and it starts tonight, the big one. From Spokane, Washington, Campbell takes on one of the best basketball programs in the country, seventh ranked Gonzaga will be Campbell's opponent. That game at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN Plus. Campbell will stay on the road. They take on this Sunday on national TV, the Big Ten Network at 6 p.m. as they take on another Big Ten opponent. This time it'll be Minnesota. And then right before Christmas, this is a special one. December 23rd, a special noon matinee on a Tuesday. You hopefully will be off work. The kids will be out of school. Bring them to Gore Arena. $5 tickets for everyone, except, of course, kids 12 and under. That will be in free to that and every Campbell home basketball game this season. We have so many good games coming up, and it starts tonight. Campbell taking on one of the best teams in the country, and we caught up with our head basketball coach, John Andrzejek, as we talk about the massive challenge tonight in the Pacific Northwest. Coach, first off, tell me about that university in Gonzaga and that part of the country that is very special to you in so many different ways.
Yeah, no, I had a really great experience working up here at Washington State, which is about an hour and a half down the road. This is a real hoops obsessed area of the country. I think they hold Hoop Fest every year in Spokane and do a great job. People flying from all over the country, and then this Gonzaga program that we're up against tonight, they've really been the standard bearers in our profession. They do a great job in a lot of different a lot of different areas of running a program. They've obviously recruited extremely well, had tons of NBA players, and they got more right now on their team. But they've been able to keep a great attitude, have a great culture. They've gotten guys to redshirt that ended up being lottery picks in the NBA draft, so that's a real talent that Coach Few has to be able to get guys to see the bigger picture, wait their turn, be a team, not make it about themselves. They also run a ridiculously efficient, effective offense where they play fast, play through their bigs, where everybody gets chances to shine. They've had point guards get drafted, they've had a million bigs get drafted, they've had wing shooters and scorers get drafted. And then they're very good on defense too. So they're a program that I know personally I've looked up to for a long time, but also our coaching tree, whether it's Kyle Smith or Todd Golden, we've emulated a lot of the stuff that they've done, especially offensively over the years.
Coach, you laid it out, and it would take about 5 minutes for us to talk about how they've done this in 27 straight NCAA tournaments and everything like that. This is a perennial top 20 team with a chance to get a top four seed in the NCAA tournament each and every year.
You're
This team,
underselling. You're underselling.
well,
Their
and
their
that's what,
average their average season over the last 10 years is national championship contender. Seriously.
absolutely.
That's usually where they're at, and they're in
Yeah.
that bucket once again this season.
Well, and you make that point exactly right, Coach, because this team may be, at least on paper at this time of the year, one of their best of all of these really good teams that have competed for a national championship, right?
Yep. No, they're really good. They don't have any holes. They can really shoot it. They get assisted baskets. They zip the ball around. They have quite an interior attack. They get on the offensive boards. They've been guarding the heck out of people. And they're very good at home. They play really fast at home. They got great fan support. I think they got some insane record of consecutive sellouts up here. And what's really cool for them too, and something to look up to as well is like basketball has been a vessel for that university to move up in the college athletics and in the university landscape. It has really been a source of pride for this community, for the alumni, and it's pretty cool to kind of watch it develop over the years. Unfortunately, I've been on the other sideline playing against them, and that part's not as fun. But they've done a great job controlling what they can control and turning this into an awesome deal up here.
Coach, tell us about some of their personnel this year. As you laid out, a lot of these guys will be playing in the NBA, but Ike really getting the headlines this year. Their preseason All-American.
Yeah, Ike is really hard to guard. Scores over that right shoulder. Great back to the basket. He's expanded his game too. He's making some threes, making some jumpers. That kind of is what it is. I don't think you could take away everything against this type of team. I'm hoping we could take away a few things. We'll put it that way. But he really makes his mark near the basket, rim runs, early post ups, offensive rebounds, stuff like that. Uh, Braden Huff, awesome player playing the four, really skillful back to the basket guy, dribbles the post. He's good in the short roll. They'll do a lot of stuff where they try to get just behind the defensive coverage in the pick and roll, whether it's a show or whatever it may be. And then he can make those plays in space, kind of like a Jokic or somebody like that, where he can find guys or just dribble and put them in the basket. So that's where I think it starts with them. That's always been a staple of this program is they just pound you inside, points in the paint, points in the paint. But they're a complete team. You know, they're one, twos, and threes, all can really shoot the ball. So if you're over helping, you're trying to double the post, they zip it around, knock down shots. Steel Venters is a guy we used to play against when I was at Washington State, and he was at Eastern Washington. He's as good of a catch and shoot 3-point shooter as you will find in the country. He's a guy we got to run off the line, not give him clean looks, make him try to shoot more twos and threes. Innocenti from Italy can really shoot the ball as well. Good positional athlete, good size to be able to guard. And then the Spanish kid that they added, Sound Supri, is just really good in the pick and roll. Finds guys, crafty, behind the back passes, no look passes. We're gonna have to be really, really sharp on our defensive principles and striking that right balance between, helping and not helping, tagging, not tagging, stuff like that. Because if you're too far one direction or the other, they're very well balanced offensively to make you pay.
Coach, this is a time of year where finals are over, classes haven't started for next semester. From the outside looking in, you look at this and say, "Hey, this might be good for the guys." Of course, you have an intense travel schedule. You'll be on the road all week, but it's sort of just about basketball right now, isn't it? What can you get accomplished kind of in these couple of weeks?
Yeah, no doubt. No, I think their lives simplify a little bit, but it's not necessarily a competitive advantage or disadvantage because the same's true for the other teams we play against, you know. So, what is can be an issue this time of year is just managing your own personal expectations, keeping your attitude really good because this is the time of year when a lot of people are going to you got more free time. Your agent's going to get in your ear, your parents, your loved ones, your friends, all the people that sort of only see things through your eyes and don't see it through the good of the team or the good of the program. And we've talked about that. I've been direct about that. Like, your parents really, really, really love you, and that's their job. Every one of them, every one of your parents thinks you're the best player on the team. Every one of your parents thinks I'm not playing you enough. That's how it goes. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't run from that, but we got to be able to handle that and be able to kind of still be a team and understand defining roles. And not everybody is going to bring the exact same thing to the party. Some of us are going to be required to score more buckets. Others are going to be required to play really, really, really good defense. And some of us are just going to have to cheer like crazy for the guys who are out there. So there's a lot that goes into it. I think we've really been coming together as a team. Like I like the direction we're going there. I think our attitude's been getting better and better. So I'm not necessarily specifically worried about any of that stuff with our team, but that's a team talk we've been given at Washington State, at San Francisco, at Florida, at Columbia. We've been talking about it this time of year for 10, 12 years. It's just something you go through in college basketball, especially around the holidays.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for taking time out. Best of luck, and we'll be watching you tonight at 9 Eastern time.
It's a late one. It's a late one. Yeah. No, we got to keep it one possession at a time. Stay in the moment. Not be too high or too low based on the scoreboard or whatever will happen. They're gonna make some runs at home. That's where they're really good, but we got to play to our standard. And if they're making a lot of plays that just come down to talent and them being a little taller than us or shooting over us or whatever. I can live with that, but we got to be sharp on not giving them easy stuff and blocking out and doing the tough things and taking care of the basketball.
Coach, as always, thank you so much for the valuable time the day of the game on the road. We'll be cheering for you tonight, and we'll talk to you later on.
Awesome. Roll Hubs. Let's go.
As you heard in that interview, Coach Andrzejek jumping in, interrupting me a little bit there as he was talking about how this is one of the top, really 10-5 programs in the entire country the last quarter century, and what they have done being a perennial team that has a chance to get to the Final Four and, of course, win a national championship. Really, the only thing that they haven't done in this quarter century of dominance. And it is something that when you rattle off all of the statistics and what they've done, it really kind of boggles the mind a little bit. And this year, as we talked about, they may be and may have one of their best teams in what has been 25 years of really, really great teams. Right now, at this point in the season, they're one of 4 teams in the nation that's in the top 10 in both offense and defense in Ken Palm. As a team, they are ranked in the top 5 in the nation in almost every analytics service. They're the top 3 team in the nation in net, Ken Palm, and ESPN, BPI, which are 3 of the leading analytics services. They're also tops in the nation, no matter where you're looking out, just pure statistics with points in the paint. They nearly get 50 points in the paint per game this season. Preseason All American Naismith Player of the Year. We talked about Ike, second in the NCAA period in D1 active scorers and rebounders. This is a team that lost almost 75% of their scoring and rebounding from last year. But as you know, with a name and a brand like them, they have picked it up. And who they have this year is a roster that finishes that really features the Mountain West preseason player of the year, the Big Sky player of the year, the Patriot League player of the year. They got a lot of older guys with a whole lot of experience that have done a lot in mid-major conferences across the country. So even though they lost so much, their roster third in the nation in experience. John and I talked a little bit about it in the pregame show and the pregame interview, but it's just staggering when you rattle off what the Zags have done over the last now quarter century. 27 NCAA tournament appearances, 2 Final Fours, 6 Elite Eights, 14 Sweet 16 appearances. They've had 33 AP All-Americans. They've won 26 West Coast Conference regular season titles, 22 West Coast Conference tournament titles, and have churned out 32 NBA players, have had 30 NBA draft selections. They have 11 current NBA players and 4 NBA champions. This is their 25th straight year ranked in the AP poll. They've made it to 26 straight NCAA tournaments, which is the third longest streak in the nation. And it all starts with one man that has been there for all of it. Mark Few started out as an assistant coach. They had the one year where they made it to the Sweet 16. Their head coach jumped to Minnesota. Mark Few, as the assistant, came in. And that's usually when the Cinderella story for the mid-major program ends, right? Well, Few kept building that program where he was an assistant at, again, a half decade before. And he has passed up every big job that has come to him. You can guarantee he gets a call every single time that a big time college job comes up, but he loves the Pacific Northwest. He loves the outdoors, and he stayed in one place at a mid major and ended up creating a dynasty. Mark Few, the head coach of the Zags, 750 wins in 903 games. He just got his 750th earlier in the week. That's the second fastest in NCAA history to 750 wins, behind only Adolph Rupp, who did that back for Kentucky. Of course, Rupp Arena, named after the legendary head coach in a much different era. It is the highest active winning percentage in Division I basketball, as he has won 83% of his games. This isn't the first time, believe it or not, that Campbell has gone all the way out to the Northwest to play a game. Of course, a little bit of a homecoming for John Andrzejek and some on his crew as they were on the coaching staffs at San Francisco and then Washington State. Washington State just an hour and a half away. But Campbell traveling all the way out there just before Christmas, way back in the 2012-2013 season as they took on the Zags in Spokane back on December 17th. The Zags, who were ranked in the top 20 at the time, really had a big lead for Campbell, but Campbell kept it close enough. 74-52 was the final in that game, December 19th, 2012, as the top 15 ranked Bulldogs. Kelly Olynyk, if that name rings a bell, added 12 points. It is going to be a fun one tonight, and you can watch it tonight, 9 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Remember, though, Campbell will be back at it on Sunday on national TV on the Big Ten Network at 6 o'clock versus Minnesota. But a big game right before Christmas. $5 tickets on December 23rd as Campbell takes on Green Bay right here in Bowie's Creek at Gore Arena. That'll do it for the Bojangles countdown to tip off. Enjoy the game and have a great week.